Appreciate it. I'm gonna pay you a huge compliment, man. You're like, you remind me a little bit of Reggie White, power and speed. Not quite Reggie White, but power and speed.
That's a huge compliment. I take a reference too. I mean, Reggie's too great. That's a legend that you aspire to even have some sort of resemblance to.
There it is. Hey, we've just had a huge debate about the 18-game schedule proposal, sitting out, only playing 16, maybe sitting out 2. What's your reaction to the proposal of expanding?
I just don't know how it's going to work. You're not going to present 18 games and then tell guys you could possibly not play 2 without guys not wanting to play those. As a competitor, I want to play each and every opportunity that I get a hold of when it means something. You know, if you say you're adding on 2 extra preseason games, that's not going to affect us because there's already a situation where, you know, guys are in and out of rotation for that. But regular season, when it matters towards legacy, where it matters towards stats compilation, you're going to tell me that a guy like, you know, let's call him Calais Campbell, who has 16 opportunities, now you're going to put in somebody else. It's not going to happen. As a competitor, you're going to want every opportunity you get on the field. If you tell me I'm sitting out 2 games, I'm looking at you and telling you you're a lie.
Marcellus, that sounds like your point in terms of you'd rather just play 18, all 18.
Yes. I'll play all 18 long as it's dollar for dollar, value to value, 18 games, whatever that looks like, compared to my 16-game schedule as is. And I like how you said it, how is this going to work? And I think that's why the NFLPA right now is pausing on their response to this proposal. But if you have a vote in this proposal, would you want them to go to 18, play 18, get paid accordingly, or do you want to stick with the 16 as is?
I'd stick with 16 as is. I mean, in terms of comparing stats to stats, putting legends to legends, putting, you know, good starters versus good starters, regular starters versus regular starters, rotation players versus rotation players. It's not even that. It's not about money. It's about about stat-wise. How do you compare other season stats? Now you got Drew going for almost 6,000 yards versus 5,000 yards. Or Ben Roethlisberger throwing for 5,500
yards.
You don't want more money? 4,500.
Yeah, but this is different. This is 1 year 16 deal. You already got this signed.
Right.
It's now 1 year 18, just like this for the signature. You went $2 more million, and that, for guys who make 20, 30 million.
After taxes, we're talking about 1.1, which is again a game changer. But if you're already making 16,
you have enough money. We've met the pro athlete who has enough money. You're good. If the NFL doesn't grow any more revenue, you're good.
I was satisfied last contract. I'm here for legacy.
This second generation, though. This second generation.
Yeah, your dad was an NFL player. Marcellus came from Compton. His dad wasn't an NFL player. There's a lot of... Do you think most players in the league would agree with you that if we're going to go to 18, I want to play all 18?
Absolutely. If you go 18, every competitor is going to say, I want all 18.
Yeah. I can't see a 16 versus 18.
I mean, now, dollar for dollar, that's all personal, how you live, how you whatever. But at the end of the day, if there's 18 regular season games, I want each and every one. Because you can't tell me, like, these 2 games we're going to take out. But what if those 2 games are, you got a duck for offensive line, you've got a quarterback who doesn't make the right throws, and he sits back there sitting all pretty. You ain't going to tell me that I'm not going to want to get this 3-piece out of him. Yeah. I'm going to go after him, man. I'm going to get, like, when you see a quarterback, sometimes you circle a quarterback, like, I know he makes all the right throws, he takes a little bit longer, I'll take him.
Or you get Wally pipped. A lot of times in the NFL, let's be real, your backup comes out there and shines, and all of a sudden you see him in the rotation. You're like, where'd that come from? It came from the 1 of the 2 games that the NFL all of a sudden said you had to sit there and watch him shine. Let's talk about last year, though. Let's talk no more proposals, no more what-ifs. The reality of the Saints locker room and the response to that controversial loss to the Rams. Are you guys over that yet?
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about being able to hit OTAs. We talk about being able to foresee this training camp that we have. I think as a team, we have the right mentality to not only withstand this, but to excel from it. You talk about what happened 2 years ago and how we went deep into the playoffs after, you know, going 3 years of a 7-9 season and not making the playoffs. You see that our team was built for trying to progress and advance. Then you talk about last year, we go a game further than we did 2 years ago. So at this point, we just got to stay on track and go a game further than we did last year. We go a game further than we did last year, we're headed towards the Super Bowl.
Your team has great leadership with guys like you and Drew Brees there, but I'm a little concerned, and maybe it's a silly concern given your leadership, that y'all are going to be looking in the rearview mirror and still bothered by what happened rather than using that as proper motivation for this year.
Add it on to the chip that's already on the shoulder. But that's just it. The 504, we put everything on our backs anyways. You put that chip on your shoulder, you got to let it roll. You can always say, like, hey, you're too hung up on something, but everybody has their own problems. Everybody has their own situation where it's like, hey, you know, if Kansas City didn't get that late hit or whatever, they hit a kick call on Tom Brady, they'd be at a Super Bowl. Whatever it is, everybody has their own problems.
But why more noise out of New Orleans than even Kansas City, as you bring up? There was a lot of examples where it was an abrupt ending for a team, but you guys made noise of it. What was the difference?
Because as a city, our fans really rally around us. We're not just loud. It's a family situation. And they feel our hurt. We feel their hurt. I mean, as a city, from fan base to actual players, you can tell that there's an integral part of this city that is the Saints. So when we feel like we got gypped at some point, you also have to take into account we were up by 2 touchdowns at one point. You look at what we've done, we've got to continue putting on points. We've got to continue making defensive stops. We didn't do enough. We lost that game, and we have to look forward to this season to rectify mistakes.
I also think you guys, on a positive, will be perhaps as desperate as any team in the league, because Drew Brees is getting older, and that window, Super Bowl window, is starting to close. Is that accurate?
I don't know. Drew said he's playing till 45. I fully believe him. I see Tom Brady win a Super Bowl at 41. I feel like we've still got an adequate enough window. I mean, the way that Drew takes to the game, his meticulous training and operations that he has always said is always going to be there. So until he say he's done, I feel like we've got a great window.
I think that for both, one of the reasons why y'all reacted the way y'all did to that loss is for Drew Brees and Sean Payton, but particularly Drew Brees. I think he is the closest thing to Tom Brady, but he doesn't have the Super Bowls. And I think Sean Payton is the closest thing to Bill Belichick, but he doesn't have the Super Bowls. True?
I mean, Super Bowls, winning defines everything in the league. You join the NFL to win. And when you have 6 Super Bowl rings, that speaks for itself.
This is a new NFL I joined to get paid, brother. Back with that proposal. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about these rings. Let's go from the older quarterbacks to the young quarterback and Dak Prescott. I want you to put on your analysis hat and be an analyst with us. Is Dak worth $30 million in proposal that is floating around for his value?
I mean, at some point, there was quarterbacks making $19 million that, you know, shouldn't have been starters, but were starters, or $18 million that should, you know, we're going into backup roles. At $30 million, you know, if you're a face of a franchise, you have a lot more power in your hands than most other people. You see guys command 35, and you go into the playoffs just like they do. Taking stats out of it, you see yourself as a winning mentality, as a face of the franchise. Gun for your money.
Now, you played against him last year. This is a chance for you to go out there and be a pseudo agent for him right now. Same time they beat y'all. So let's talk
about 10 points on board, right?
Let me ask you. Let me ask this. My contention for Dak, and let's take Dak out of it. When you walk into a modern NFL locker room and they're paying you $30 or $35 million a year, doesn't that change the way your teammates look at you and the expectations they have for you?
At this point, it's the going price of a quarterback. I mean, you look at a quarterback and you're like, oh, okay, so the mid-tier quarterbacks are making 20-something, you know, whatever. Say you're giving a hometown discount like Tom Brady or Drew does, and, you know, you're in that 20 situation, but everybody knows you're elite. I can't even speak of quarterback money. It's just different.
Can I ask a different conversation about value? Because I've been there before where you got overpaid. And everyone, it's funny when you got your money. Oh, look at all that money. Ooh, smell new money in the room. But as soon as you throw that one errant throw, that pick, all of a sudden it comes back to haunt you.
No doubt. And now it's the age of social media, so it's an avalanche that comes at you, i.e. Blake Bortles. So, but,
yeah.
I mean, when you talk about everything that a quarterback does, I mean, he led him to a winning season, whether you want to argue about that or not. I mean, he went to the playoffs and actually won a game there, so argue about that or not. You can always argue that his defense that stalwart defense was amazing last year. And can you repeat that? That's up to Dallas and their Cowboys to figure that out.
Cameron, I was told that you were one of these people that think this is fake hair.
I'm looking at it, and it's looking like a real Puerto Rican grain, and I don't think there's any Puerto Rican in you, big fella.
You made a good decision not commenting, because I would say something about your hair. But,
hey, this is all natural. In fact, I'll lend you some later.
That's all right.
All right. Coming up, Anthony Davis says the new look Lakers have a championship roster. We'll tell you what we think